There's more to your addiction than a physical addiction. There's often an underlying need for life perspective, and being in a hyper state of awareness will sometimes give us that, but most often it's short-circuited by the addiction itself. So we're in the hyper state of awareness, but then when we satisfy it with the addiction, it takes us back to neutral, so then we have to go into the hyper state of awareness again, and it becomes that round robin of, you don't really get anywhere, you're just going in a big old circle. Addicts are addicted to the secret, not the thing itself. Because addicts are some of the most creative and clever people in the culture. If they're hiding an addiction, they have to be so smart. They have to be so clever. They have to put so much attention on knowing what's going on in their environment and what other people are doing so that they can feed their addiction. And what often happens is that they become addicted to it's the only place in their life where they have the ability to be that smart and that clever. Think about it. Like shoplifting. People who are shoplifters, it's one of the few times where they're able to use all of their senses in the nature of safety for themselves, because they have to be completely aware in a 360-degree radius of what everybody's doing and who's looking at them, right? So where else do you get that unless you're in war?
And what their story is, and who they told which story to.
Well, no, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the plain and simple fact of having to become highly aware of everything around you in a heightened state. And the only other place that happens is when you're in battle, which is one of the reasons. How many people here saw The Hurt Locker? Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It is the very epitome of this idea. At the very end, they say it's the addiction. It's the addiction of facing your death every single moment that draws some of these people back into war. And
like an adrenaline rush?
It is. But it's even more than that, because if you think about, how many people here have ever really truly been in danger for their life? Okay, do you remember how every part of you was in the moment? Every part of you was in the moment, right? And you were in such a heightened state of awareness that everything became more colorful, everything became more prominent, everything had so much more importance, right? Because your death was facing you. And this is the whole point of initiation. Initiation's designed to take you to your death, because they say the only way you can appreciate life is to face death. And so when you have been someplace where you are in physical danger and facing your death and come into that heightened state of awareness, we like that. We crave that because it brings meaning to the rest of our life. And in the West, because we don't have life-changing initiations like that, in Africa where they're still doing tribal initiations, what is the percentage? I think it's like 3% of the boys never come back because they die in the initiation. Because the point of initiation is to face your death, but it's also to face the fact that there are other realities out there. So they put them through these. If you ever want to read about how they do initiations in Africa, read Of Water and the Spirit by Malidoma Patrice Somé. It's a fascinating story of his initiation, which he didn't go through till he was 19 because he had been stolen into a Jesuit missionary and didn't come back till 19. And he was so angry. The elders came to him and said, "You're a white man in a black man's body, and we can't let you stay in the tribe because you've not been initiated, and so you're a destructive force. And so you have to go through the initiation with the other 13-year-olds, or you have to leave the tribe. And frankly, we don't think you'll live if you go through the initiation." That's what they told him. So can you imagine, like, not only having to go through initiation, but like the elders don't think you're going to come out alive? That would put a little pressure on you. But anyway, so he talks about, and you read about the children that don't come back and why they don't come back. And so when you're facing your death like that, life does take on a different perspective, and it does change who you are, and it does change how you move through the world. So in the Western cultures where we don't have initiations, this is why we get a lot of people who are addicted, and what they're addicted to is the secrets, not the addiction, because the secrets bring that same sense of having to be hyper aware. Okay? Having to be hyper aware is a form of initiation. And so if we don't have another way of moving through some sort of a planned sacred initiation to bring us into that state and then move us through, and that's why the second to the last class we'll be doing is about ceremony and addiction and how you can actually transform addictions with ceremony. Because that's really at the basis of every addiction, is a longing for ceremony, is a longing for something sacred.